going on, crypto people? It is the Crypto Siege with another day in the life and the crazy life that is the digital asset space. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to each and every one of you. I'm excited for you. Why? Because you, my friend, you are an early adopter in this new asset class that is a digital asset space. We're playing a game, my friends, that 99.99% of the masses don't even know is being played. And we are winning. And we are winning for sure. Guys, we're going to get into it today. Listen, the market is doing what the market does. That's pretty cool. Senator Lummis weighs in on the bill that heard a couple of colleagues brought to Congress. We'll get into that a little bit. CNBC, I believe, shared that. And what's going on? The Apex Foundation is going to create a bridge between the Avalanche network and the XRP freaking ledger. That is really good. I can't wait to see that happen. And Arthur Britto, from back in the day, we got some texts and or email messages from Arthur Britto, in which it states that XRP should last. There should be enough XRP to last for thousands of years. That is heavy. That is heavy for sure. All right, guys. So listen, this is your XRP Ripple daily news. In around 0 to 10 minutes, let's do this. The Bitcoin dominance is at 44.2%, according to CoinGecko. And that's just not a great number. Bitcoin is at $31,641. Again, XRP, well, let me see. Ethereum is at $1,952 again. And I say that, guys, because remember, the total cryptocurrency market cap at one time is over $3 trillion, right? Over $3 trillion. XRP is at 41 cents again. Now, we can talk about Cardano being up 20%, Bitcoin up 8%, Waves over 50%. That's great for the swing traders. But for the hodlers, this is just more time in sideways movement. But shout out to the swing traders for making some money, for making some big time gains in Waves, and Bitcoin, and Chain. If you're in this XCN thing, shout out to you. I hope it served your family really well. Actually, Infinity up 14, nearly 15%. Crazy to hear that they actually had a hack in that ecosystem. It's very crazy to hear that. But in any case, guys, there it is. The market, is doing what the freaking market does. Let's take a listen to Senator Lummis here. I think this is very interesting what she had to say here. But let me read this here, because I think it's always important to note. This is Joseph Grunfest to Jay Clayton back in 2017. We all know the letter that he wrote, right, to Jay Clayton about, dude, do not bring this lawsuit against Ripple, right? A level playing field for all. Shout out to Riz for sharing this. Hope you're well. At Riz_XRP, guys, give that dude a follow. If Ether is to be allowed to trade freely in the market, says Joseph Grunfest, so too must XRP. And if XRP is to be subject to restrictions, so too should Ether. Any other result creates a competitive imbalance that cannot be rationalized with reference to fair enforcement of the federal securities law. Let us not forget that. Let us not freaking forget that. Let me share this news here, because I think this is pretty cool. Apex Foundation partnership announcement. Apex Foundation will build a fully insured bridge from Avalanche to the XRP ledger to go live by the end of August of 2022. Well, we shall see if that happens. It says the Apex bridge will facilitate a fast and safe transfer of wrapped XRP tokens from the XRP ledger, an open source, public, and decentralized blockchain, to Avalanche and other EVM networks, right? So more, these bridges, they come with some risk in terms of hacking. but the opportunity to try to provide interoperability is going to be really, really cool. That's why what Flare Network is doing is going to be massive. Now, they haven't mentioned anything with Avalanche yet, but we all know from Flare Networks, once you get on there, there's not much else you need to do. You'll be able to interoperate and be interoperable with a lot of things. So, but it is good to see Apex Foundation doing this. End of August, right? Flare Network comes out. Hopefully, we'll launch in July. Just take a listen to Senator Lummis here. I think this is very, very interesting. Now, mind you, she tends to lean on the side of Bitcoin, of being a Bitcoin maxi, if you will, but getting a bill that provides more clarity, I think, is important coming from Congress.
For digital assets that we hope hits the sweet spot between regulation that is clear and understood.
Let me try that again. All right, there.
It's a regulatory framework for digital assets that we hope hits the sweet spot between regulation that is clear and understood and does not stifle innovation. We see so much change in this space that's happening so fast that we can't keep up with it. So we want to make sure that we're not doing anything to stifle that incredible innovation while we have an understood regulatory framework. So we're setting it on top of the current regulatory framework for assets, including the Commodities Future Trading Commission and the SEC. We're making sure that the taxation is capital gains and not ordinary income. We've dealt with some accounting procedures, some definitions. We're looking at consumer protection and privacy. Bitcoin is the hardest money on the planet. It's definitely a commodity. And I'm confident that the SEC, working with the Howey test, the existing Howey test for securities, and working with the CFTC, will make pretty good determinations with other digital assets. You know, there are almost 19,000 digital assets out there. Some of them don't even have the characteristics of a commodity or security, and their purpose is not to be either a means of exchange or a store of value. So they fall into a different category altogether. I'm confident that with the definitions we provide, plus the existing expertise and understandings at the CFTC and the SEC, that they'll be able to figure it out.
Well, we'll see. We're hopeful, right? We are definitely hoping. I agree with her. I do believe that Bitcoin is sound money, because of the monetary policies, the monetary policy that it brings with it. So I do believe that. So we'll see, right? What are these definitions in this bill in terms of a commodity, a security? There are other definitions like currencies, virtual assets. Or what was the like a dual asset, hybrid currency? Is that going to be part of the definitions as well? Hybrid asset. So it's interesting to see how this goes. She did have a lot to say about Bitcoin mining and the fact that New York kind of banned it, and she said places like Wyoming and Texas are going to be welcoming in these companies, and she has some arguments, right? Some arguments and or rationale behind the prudency in Bitcoin mining. I'm not sure if I agree with her or not, but I do agree with getting a bill before Congress, get it voted on, that provides regulatory clarity, that will put the SEC in its place, right, in the barn, right? In other words, because the SEC is trying to grab everything and perhaps give scraps to other agencies. All right, but a bill will make it kind of fairer, will make it more distributed, right, and have these digital assets go to where they need to go, and those who quite don't pass the test in some type of way. Real world utility hopefully will be a benchmark for defining these assets, hopefully, or at least part of the benchmark for defining these assets. But it's good to see that they did come up with a bill. I know other people have mentioned Senator Lummis' bill and others in Congress, Toomey, right? McHenry, offering other bills as well for clarity. But a lot of that clarity thing is bringing the SEC down and putting them, if you will, in their place so that this asset space can move forward productively. Shared that. That is really, really good information. According to Juniper Research, blockchain payments are predicted to exceed $4.4 trillion by 2024. $4.4 trillion, right? If we said it on this channel once, we said it 1,000 times. The SEC versus lawsuit was about them, the powers that be, the top 8 to 10 banks, the likes of JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs, ushering to the front of the room, hashtag Gary Gensler is not your friend, in order for him to slow down the monster, the behemoth of a company that is Ripple, right, in their technology. The fact that they decided to use the XRP digital asset, the fact that they decided to use the XRP ledger, the fact that they have a massive head start in the better technology for payments. That's just about the incumbents trying to slow down Ripple, right? They are not concerned. Gary Goldman, or JP Morgan, they're not as concerned about Cardano or EOS, Ethereum Classic. All those are great products and great projects, rather. They're not concerned about Hedera, Hashgraph, or Quant. They're concerned about the XRP ledger and XRP and what Ripple, the company, is doing with that asset and that blockchain. That's what they're concerned about. They are not concerned about Shiba Inu. They're just freaking not. Take a listen to Crypto Mom here talking with Chris Giancarlo on the panel, talking about U.S. crypto regulatory framework. And shout out to Darren Moore. He did a very, very good job with a video with Dan Moorhead from Pantera talking about Ripple's chances of moving to freaking Singapore. What? Take a listen to Hester Pershing.
Our lack of clarity. I mean, there's a big draw to be in the U.S., so we're definitely beneficiaries of the fact that we have the best markets and the best place to do innovation in the world, but we can't ride on that past. We really have to take a proactive approach now.
Nathan, I'll go to your theme of this talk, cloudy or clear. I think one thing's very clear and one thing's cloudy. I think what's very clear is the technology won't be stopped. The technology is going to march on, just as the internet has marched on. To think that the internet won't do to finance, banking, and money what it's done to social networking, transportation, entertainment, art, and information is just naive. It will. What's cloudy is what's going to be our official policy response in Washington. And I think right now that is cloudy. I think there are some that are in the vanguard of really trying to rethink this in very creative ways and thoughtful ways. And there are others that just see it as something to be suppressed, to be stopped. There I think those who are wedded to the existing way of doing things, whether that be regulators or policymakers.
Chris said it. Couldn't have said it better myself. Mr. Giancarlo said it best, right? They're trying to suppress, right? The incumbents are trying to slow it down as best as they can, So for me, anytime I hear anything about JP Morgan being involved in something, I don't trust it, right? I don't trust it. So, I mean, it's great that they're working and they're one of the banks working with the Monetary Authority of Singapore. That's awesome. But I don't trust it. For me, give me DeFi that doesn't involve institutional banks like JP Morgan. You know what I mean? And I get it. They're going to claim regulatory this and they're going to claim, fraud that and mitigation against fraud. They're the fraudsters. JP Morgan is the fraudster. JP Morgan is the market manipulator. You know what I mean? So, yeah, will DeFi have to become more and more doxed in terms of who's created it and all that? Yeah, will that anonymity work? No, people aren't gonna have to know who you are. But if you're providing a great product, the people from Aave are not gonna have a problem with KYC and AML being doxed. People from Curve are not going to have a problem with that. The people from Compound and Yearn, they're not going to have a problem with that, right? The blue chippers not going to have a problem with that. It's the new DeFi places that might, right? And so if you're not willing to do the KYC and AML, become fully doxed, you're not going to make it in the space. But certainly I'd rather use Curve and Compound, Aave, Yearn Finance, right? I'd rather use them than freaking anything having to do with JP Morgan. You can forget that. Forget that madness.
Or in the banking industry or finance industry. But the truth of the matter is, I actually, from my conversation now that I'm in the private sector with traditional finance, I think the days of ignoring it or ridiculing it are over. I think traditional finance is moving in a big way. I think it's really still the policymakers where the jury is out as to whether they embrace it, as we did embrace the first wave of the internet in the 1990s in a very bipartisan way between the Clinton White House and the Gingrich Congress. We embraced it in a very big way. I think if we take the same enlightened approach, that there are both opportunities and challenges here. We need to get the right regulatory framework around the challenges. We need to open ourselves to the opportunities. I think we could go into a golden age of free market finance, greater financial inclusion, greater access, and new relationships with finance.
A golden age of free market finance and inclusion. Greater inclusion. That's what the digital asset space represents. And remember, the digital asset space, guys, is our chance to win. We were here first. And let us not forget it. I think this is very, very interesting. This is Arthur Britto explaining the purpose of XRP in 2013. Shout out to XRP theorists for sharing it. This is absolutely genius. This is conspirator XRP theorists. Love it. Oh, I'm not following that guy. Hold on a second. Let's do that. Let's take care of that real quick. It says here, but if Ripple is successful, maybe many would not choose to roll the transactions into one and may eat to the XRP space at an accelerated pace? Question mark. The transactions fee is set by network consensus and can be lowered. The transaction fee is set by the network consensus and can be lowered. There should be enough, XRP to last for thousands of years. All right, guys, this is going to wrap up your XRP Daily News in around 0 to 10 minutes. Guys, I'm going to end this video like I do all of my videos and remind you guys of this, that old money doesn't want you to win. But that's okay, though, because you and I are already winning. Have a great rest of the day, guys. I'll talk to you soon. See ya. Bye.